What's up guys, welcome back to the, don't know what that was, welcome back to the channel. If you clicked on this video, you most likely have not the greatest credit score, or you're trying to improve your credit, or you're learning how to get a good credit score. So you clicked on the right video. If you have bad credit, it's nowhere near the end of the world. Full disclaimer, 2 years ago, I was dirt poor. I was $7,000 in debt. I didn't know anything about finance, and I didn't have the right people that were around me supporting me. No one was telling me that your credit score is important and things like that. If you're alone and you were in that situation, then let me try to give you the information you might need for the future. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about in this video is actually very important. So you need to look at your finance and look at how much you're spending, and you need to live below your means. Living below your means is, let's say if your bills is $500 but you make $1,000 in income, that's living below your means. You need to have more money coming in than is going out. That's the main reason why people go in debt, because they live paycheck to paycheck, or they just don't have enough money coming in. You could live paycheck to paycheck, but it is very risky. It's something that I don't like to do, just because let's say if your car breaks down or you need a new engine, most likely you're gonna have to use your debt, and it's gonna be very hard to pay off because you're already living paycheck to paycheck. Your food, your bills, your shelter is sucking all of your money, so you need to live below your means. I know it's harder done than said, but you need to do this. Like, you need to look at your finances, and you need to cut out all the things that are draining your money. Like, for example, a car that you can't afford. If your car is making you go in debt and you have to pay that off every month, that's not a good thing. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's gonna suck you dry. If something bad happens, it's gonna take you a long time to repay that debt. You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, because if something does happen, paying off your debt is gonna be a lot more difficult. And if you have debt and you're already living paycheck to paycheck, it's gonna get harder and harder. And then if something else comes up, then it just compounds, and that's how you get in serious problems in the future. And then once you do become financially literate, then it's even harder to recover because you have so much debt accumulated over time. So live below your means. It's a major thing that you have to do. Everyone can do it. There's no excuses. I'm here to tell you that I was in your shoes if you were living paycheck to paycheck and you were not living below your means. I sold everything. I don't care what people think of me now. I still don't. I live below my means, and I don't care what people think of me. People might think I'm poor, but that's fine. My account is looking lovely, and you just have to live below your means in order to build credit, in order for success in the future. Okay, so for the second one, this is a pretty obvious one. You need to have a credit card to build debt. You can't really build a credit score without a credit card. I know some people, they cannot get a credit card because their bank won't allow them, because they already have a bad credit score, they have a bad history of credit. That's fine. I'm pretty sure that if you go into your bank and you talk to your banker and you say, I want a pre-approved credit card or a prepaid credit card. Prepaid credit card is like when you pay the bank $500 and then they give you a card that you can use. You already have a balance of $500. It sounds stupid, but it's something that you need to do in order to get a credit card if you already have bad credit. You need to sacrifice short term for that credit card, and then over time they will trust you more. Once you have that credit card, then you need to max it out completely. I mean, if it's $10,000, I mean, you need to spend all of it right now. Obviously, I'm kidding, but you need to know your max, so you can only use 20-30% of your limit. So what I do, for example, just a point of reference, if you have $1,000, you only want to use $200-300 every single month and pay it off in full. You want to do this because, one, it will train you to budget your money a lot easier, because you'll keep looking at your statements and say, okay, I'm at 150, I'm at 200, I need to stop spending it on my credit card now. Maybe I'll use more of my checking account money, right? So you need to budget your money very tightly when you're first starting to do this. Over time, it becomes very easy. With me, I only spend around $300-400 every single month on my credit card, so it's very easy to pay off. And the less you use on your card, the banks will look at your statements and will trust you easier, because you're not using all of your debt at once and paying it off. The banks don't want to see you maxing your credit cards, because if things go south and you cannot pay that off in a month, then it's worrisome for the bank, right? Like, if you give someone $10,000 and they can't pay it back in full when the month is due, it's worrisome to you. Like, you'll get worried, like, is this person going to pay me back in time, etc. The banks think the exact same way. So only spending 20-30% of your credit card is very easy to maintain. Of course, I don't know how much you make, but for me, it's very easy to maintain, and the banks will trust me more because I'm not using my full card, and they can see that they can trust me with a lot of money, and I'm not going to use it all at once. I'm not going to max it out, right? So it's easier for them to trust me. It's a trust program, and that's how you need to think of it. So the third thing is, it's honestly, this is my favorite one, using your card regularly. This will help you save money, one, because if you use 20-30%, it's a very, very low amount of your credit card limit, and you're not using your own money at the moment, right? You're using the bank's money. So how credit cards work is you have to pay it back every single month, right? So you have 30 days to come up with the money. If you're using your credit card regularly, you should only be using a small percentage of your credit card limit. You doing that, if you only have to pay $300 of your credit card, you don't have to use that in your checking account. So you're saving money and you're using your credit card to use that money. So over time, you can accumulate more money than what you're actually spending on your credit card. So everything is late while I'm still saving money like every 2 weeks, right? So I have more money coming in while I'm using a small portion of my credit card to pay off the month after. I really hope that makes sense, and if it doesn't, please let me know in the comments and I'll try to explain a little bit more in the comments. I hope you kind of get the gist of it. Another reason why you should use your card every single month is because it's showing the banks that you're an active user. You're using their money every single month and you're paying it back in full. So it's easier for them to trust you because you have a history of using it every single month, and every single month is being paid off in full. That's the main thing though. That is how the banks will trust you. If I give you $1,000 every single month and you use $200 every single month and you paid off to me full, I'm gonna trust you and I'm going to increase your limit because I'm trusting you. You're paying off in full and I have no stress on when I'm gonna get my money back. So the last and final point of this video, if you have a credit card, do not close your accounts. This is probably the worst thing that you can do. Even if you have bad credit and you're stressed about your credit score and you finally pay it off and you close your account, don't do that because it will hurt you in the long run. And here's why. A big reason why you don't want to cancel your credit cards is because, one, if you have a limit, let's say of $10,000, right? But you started with $1,000, if you close that account and you open up a new credit card, you're not gonna be able to get that $10,000 limit back. You're probably gonna start off with $1,000 again. You don't wanna cancel it because your max limit, what you have right now, it'll probably go down if you open up a new account in the future. You basically have to start from zero and build up your trust with the bank again, and then they'll increase your limits over time and over time and over time. So don't close your accounts if you want to hold a higher amount that you can use every single month. If you need another reason, then I got you. This is a big one as well. If you have multiple sources of debt, then this is a big issue. So for example, I'm just gonna give you an example and I hope you understand. So let's say if you have 2 credit cards. Both of these cards have a $1,000 limit on it. One has a 0 balance and one has a $1,000 balance. So right now you only owe $1,000 from $2,000 because you have 2 cards with $1,000 on it. One has a 0 balance, one has a maxed out balance. Right now you owe 50% of your debt. If you cancel one card, you now owe 100% of your debt. That's a really bad thing because the bank will see that and say like, oh, he maxed out his cards and he owes everything that we give him. The banks will not trust you, right? Because it's scarier when you owe more. If you have 2 cards and you have $1,000 that you have to pay, but $2,000 that the bank can give you, then it's only 50%, right? And it's easier for the banks to trust you because you don't owe as less. You don't owe as less. Even though it's the same amount, it just looks more expensive if you only have 1 card. So the more cards you have, right, it looks like you owe less to the bank. So hopefully I didn't bore you too much with this video. I tried to keep it very short and very to the point. I hope you guys got good knowledge from this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments. I will be reading them. There's not a lot of comments out there to read. So please smash that like button. It goes a long way. And please subscribe for more content. I need to try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Hopefully it'll happen. We'll see. And I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.